The Boastful Elephant. Once upon a time, there lived a large elephant. Sadly, though, he wasn't a very nice elephant. He thought he was the greatest animal ever to live on planet Earth. As he stomped around from place to place, he could be heard trumpeting just how much better he was than all the other creatures. He was always boasting about how tall he was, how big he was, how strong he was, and how clever he was. And he was more than happy to tell any animal that he came across exactly how they weren't as good as him. One day, the elephant was strutting along a narrow valley beside a small river. He'd not gone far when he came across a group of animals playing with a small red ball. The group was made of a cockatoo, a snake, an otter, and 2 sausage dogs.
"Hello there, tiny animals," boomed the elephant. "Are you playing soccer? I'm amazing at playing soccer, much better than any of you, I'm quite sure."
"You can join in if you like," said Gershwin, one of the sausage dogs.
"Oh, you silly doggy, that would not be a good idea. No doubt I would tread on you and squash you like a pancake. If you were clever like me, you'd have thought of that," said the elephant as he waved his trunk about.
"How about a different game then?"
said Cosmo, the other sausage dog. The elephant laughed at the suggestion. "You'll just be disappointed," he said smugly. "I'm far taller and stronger and cleverer than any of you, so I'm bound to win."
"We don't mind," said Celia the otter. "It'll be fun."
"Very well, tiny creatures. I shall play with you," agreed the elephant. "Why don't you take turns to hide the ball, and I have to find it and return it. Once I have returned the ball to each of you, you have to declare me the winner and the greatest, because I am."
"Sounds great fun," said Delia the snake. "I'll go first," said Dave the cockatoo. "No peeking."
The ball wasn't very large, so Dave was able to grasp it with his toes and fly it high to the top of a tree. Here he wedged it amongst the highest branches before flying back down.
"Ready?"
he said. The elephant opened his eyes. "Because I'm so clever, I'm sure you will have used your wings to hide the ball all the way up high." "Aha! I see it," he said loudly, pointing with his trunk.
"But you can't reach it," declared Dave. "The tree is much taller than you."
"Ha!" laughed the elephant. "We'll see about that."
He stomped over to the tree and reached up high with his trunk, wrapping it around a branch, and then gave it a good shake. The little red ball fell loose to bounce on the rocky ground, where the elephant plucked it up.
"Who's next?"
"I'll have a go," said Delia the snake. "No peeking." She slithered over to a large rock and slipped into a tiny burrow beneath it before returning without the ball. "Ready?" she said excitedly. The elephant opened his eyes.
"Because I'm so clever, I'm sure you will have found somewhere low down to hide the ball," said the elephant as it looked around. How about under that rock?"
"But you can't reach it," declared Delia. "You can't fit under there."
"Ha!" laughed the elephant. "We'll see about that."
He stomped over to the rock and wrapped his trunk around it, whilst pushing his tusks up against the opposite side. Then, with a mighty grunt, the elephant lifted the rock up and rolled it away. The little red ball was there for all to see and was swiftly plucked up by the elephant's trunk.
"Who's next?"
"I'll have a go," said Celia the otter. No peeking. Celia carried the ball over to the river and swam down to the bottom. Here she pushed the ball under a sunken log before returning to the surface and giving herself a good shake to dry off. Ready? She grinned. The elephant opened his eyes.
Because I'm so clever, I'm sure you will have used your swimming skills to find somewhere to hide the ball, said the elephant as it looked around. Aha! The river!
But you can't reach it, declared Celia. You can't swim down to the bottom.
Ha ha ha, laughed the elephant. We'll see about that.
He stomped over to the slow-moving water and entered with a huge splash. Now, elephants can swim rather well, but not as well as an otter. The elephant ducked his head beneath the surface, but held his trunk high so he could still breathe. He could see the red ball beneath the sunken log, but he couldn't reach it with his trunk. So instead, he gave the log a hefty kick with his foot. This released the ball, which floated up to be caught in his mouth. Returning to dry land, the elephant dropped the ball before the animals.
Who's next? He said triumphantly.
We are, said Cosmo the sausage dog. We're going to do it together, said Gershwin.
Fine, said the elephant. It makes no difference to me. Soon I'll have won, and you'll all know just how great I am.
Okay, said Cosmo as Gershwin picked up the ball. No peeking. The two sausage dogs made their way to the rocky cliff that ran along the sides of the valley. They searched for a moment until Cosmo spotted a suitable gap in the rock. Into this gap trotted Gershwin before returning without the ball. They made their way back to the other animals and called, "Ready!" The elephant opened his eyes.
Because I'm so clever, I'm sure you will have looked for somewhere different to hide the ball, said the elephant as it looked around. Uh-huh! How about over there by that rocky cliff?
The elephant stomped over and soon found the gap in the rock. But you can't reach it, declared Cosmo. You can't fit in there.
Ha! Laughed the elephant. We'll see about that.
He dropped to his knees and pushed his trunk deep into the hole, searching for the ball. But he could not find it. He then stood up and pushed at the rock with all his strength. But he could not move it. Then he pounded at the rock with his feet and head and tusks. But he could not break it. Having trouble? Said Cosmo the sausage dog. The elephant didn't answer. He was furious that he couldn't reach the ball after all his boasting. Allow me, said Gershwin. He trotted into the hole and quickly returned the ball that the elephant hadn't been able to reach. I think, said Cosmo, that we've won.
Bah! Boomed the elephant, and he stomped off red with rage.
And do you know what? They never saw that elephant around there again. The end. So that you don't miss a single episode, just click that subscribe button.